and welcome to Qupj Productions podcast. It's Qupj podcast. Right? I don't know. Qupj Productions podcast or just Qupj podcast? It's a question. I'll have to decide, but you know the answer. I just thought I would do some episodes, just start off one, maybe do this for fun. I'm going to review some movies, just speak off the cuff. If you don't want that, then I don't think you will like this. So, what movie did I watch this time? Batman Begins. You know what's funny about this is I've actually reviewed this movie. Must have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while. It was one of the first I reviewed. And it was I do not remember what I said in that video. Well, I did Qupj Productions live a while back. There was one I did on the MCU, which I still think it was fun for me to review all the MCU movies up till that point. And then I was going to do another one on the Nolan trilogy. However, after several failed attempts, I tried to do one, and it was awful. Like, the video quality was so bad, it was impossible for me to tell what was going on. So, and I was in it, right? So, I guess I tried to do, like, YouTube Live at the time. It wasn't good. So, I unlisted the video. It's not available anymore. I think it also cut out, like, halfway through the stream. Well, that doesn't matter, because I'm not reviewing the Nolan trilogy. I'm just reviewing Batman Begins. Now, I've seen all 3 of the Nolan movies. The Dark Knight is probably the one I've watched the most, but it's not my favorite. I've seen it a lot because it's the one that I always show people. Because it's got the Joker in it, and he's great, right? But it's not the one that I like the most. The one I like the most is this one, Batman Begins. And don't even get me started on Dark Knight Rises. That movie is bad. Like, it's actually pretty bad. Like, it's not the worst movie ever made, but it is actually bad, though. But I'm not reviewing The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight. I am reviewing Batman Begins. Let me actually say something about this movie. It is really good, right? I think that, honestly, Batman, anything, the whole movie is really good, but, like, I think any part of it, which takes place before he like, was in the League of Shadows, just is boring. Like, I don't really care about it, right? Like, I'm just like, oh, his parents died, oh, really? Yeah, I know. Like, everyone knows the origin story to Batman, They didn't really need to, like, explain it. It's kind of just like, oh, yeah, I know. But, of course, since this is called Batman Begins, they had to do the origin story, so they did. It was told in flashbacks, right? But here's one thing I don't like. I think Christopher Nolan didn't get about Batman, right? And it's that Batman doesn't kill people. Now, I know Christopher Nolan didn't have Batman, quote-unquote, kill anybody. But he did have, like, he did do it, really. In the comics, Batman will save everyone he can. and he never kills anyone, ever. Now, you might say, well, what about this or that? Whatever. Those are outliers that don't count, right? You might say, what about the Killing Joke? He's like, yeah, but the Killing Joke, that was, like, different, okay? The Killing Joke was about Batman, like, breaking down and, like, it was, like, an older Batman. That was, like, a different take on Batman. And now, and anyways, we don't even know if he killed the Joker. I was left open-ended. Anyway, but he's like, Ra's al Ghul is like, oh, you won't kill me because you are, like, you finally will kill me now because you realize you have to kill people or whatever. And I'm just like, but Batman's like, okay, no, let me, like, leave. I don't have to save you. But that's not true. He would save you. He would save everyone. And that's what Batman is. He always saves everyone, no matter what. Right? Now, yeah, you could have a story where the Batman is, like, really wants to kill somebody, but he doesn't. He has to, like, grapple with the fact of whether or not he's gonna... Grapple? Is that a word? Is grapple a word? Grapple. Yeah, grapple with the fact that he, like, wants to kill somebody, but he knows he shouldn't. But, like, for the first story, I think you need to do something which is just shows what Batman is, right? And he doesn't kill people, right? I also like the simplicity, right? And that's the thing. The best parts of this movie, the best, was Alfred and Morgan Freeman. I know he has a name, but I don't remember. I'm not good with names. And so, they're the best. Best actors. Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, the best. Best guys, best actors. Like, they're best in this movie. It's amazing. One thing, though, is Ra's al Ghul. I don't know, is it Raish? Is it Raz? I don't know how to pronounce it. He isn't, I think he's whitewashed. I don't know. I actually haven't read the comics where he's in them, so I don't know. Is he whitewashed? I don't know, but I think he is. But whatever, man. I mean, I can't get enough Liam Neeson. He's cool. He's great in anything he's in. You watch Phantom Menace? Not a very good movie. Liam Neeson, though, he's the best in that. Taken movie is terrible, except for the fact that Liam Neeson is in it. If it was any other actor, that movie would be bad. I should review Taken. That's a really good film. But whatever, right? I also think it's weird, like, Batman's origin, in the comics he goes, he does get trained by the League of Shadows or whatever, but he also gets trained by, like, a bunch of other guys, like so many other people, right? Instead, he just gets trained by one guy. I know they're making it simpler, but, still. There's, but let me tell you, though, I'm a big Marvel guy. I love Marvel comics. They're my favorite. Love Marvel movies the best, like, always. Except Batman. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes. Not my favorite, but he's one of my favorites. And he's, like, the only one I like from DC. I know a lot of people say that Batman would be more interesting if there wasn't Batman and it was just, like, the, criminals. I don't agree at all. Batman's the best character. Like, he's such an interesting character, too. And that's the thing, right? One thing I think this movie did well is show the difference in personality. Like, so in a lot of comics, people basically portray Batman and Bruce Wayne as completely different people. But in this, I think they show him as like the same person really well. Like, this is the same guy. He's just kind of like playing up the act of this guy, you know. Like, it shows where his actual true opinions are. It's kind of like what he is like a in between Bruce Wayne and Batman, but he has to play off one side when he's in public. And that also, I think that kind of takes away from the final bit at the end where it's like, oh, your mask is Bruce Wayne and you're Batman, right? But like, no, really, Bruce Wayne, as like when he's not got the mask on, he doesn't act like Batman, right? I don't know why people say that. Whatever. And then let me think. What the actor that played Rachel in this movie is way better. Like, so much better playing her than Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't even know the actor from this movie's name, but she was way better. I'm assuming there was some controversy, some behind the scenes drama or something that made her step down, but I don't care. I'm just saying. Like, if they should have, people say Maggie Gyllenhaal's better. I disagree. I disagree a lot. Oh yeah. Christian Bale as Batman. You know, I don't know. I think it's actually really good casting. You can't beat Michael Keaton as Batman. No one can beat Michael Keaton as Batman, but he is very good. And here's my problem. Is that the bat suit looks ridiculous. Like, couldn't they have had a better looking suit? Like, the suit from the comics looks better than this guy. His neck looks like super thick in the suit. It's ridiculous. Look, I hate Ben Affleck's Batman. Worst Batman ever, right? But I'll give him one credit, and that the suit looks way better. Couldn't they have just done that? Couldn't they have just done Ben Affleck's Batman suit? And in this movie, right? And also, what's with the capes? I know it's Batman, so like this is a criticism. Like, you gotta have the cape with Batman, but I don't care because Batman cape is dumb. Why would you have a cape with Batman? Like, why would Batman use a cape? Why would any superhero use a cape? Thor, it makes sense. He's the king, and that's just what the king wears, a cape, and so he wears it when he fights. And then anyway, in Thor Ragnarok, it got like torn. The other one in Marvel in MCU at least is Vision, who I have no idea why he wears a cape because he's like that's his whole thing is that he's like a really smart, logical person, and he would of all people know not to wear a cape. But he saw Thor's cape and was like, I'll wear that. I don't get it. Are there other Marvel guys that wear capes? Does Scarlet Witch wear cape? I know she does in the comics, but I don't remember if she does in the movies or the shows or whatever. Well, Doctor Strange does wear a cape, but that doesn't really count because the fact that he is wearing the cape is like one of his powers. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, the cape. To quote Edna Mode, capes should not be worn by superheroes. I think that's the quote. Yeah, pretty sure. The I think that it was just fun. Like, it was just a fun movie. Gotham, I think, comparative to the other movies, it actually, the stakes felt a bit lower, which is just crazy because it was the deaths of millions of people, right? But it was still, like, at least they weren't trying to nuke Gotham, like, what Bane was doing or whatever. But, eh, it was good. It was good. They had, they had, like, I like how they show you know, the guys, the League of Shadows, they go and they they like try to help, but they're just killing people. It's at least like I can understand where they're coming from, but I also really think that they're just crazy. Like, okay, oh yeah, we killed millions of people as though all of them. I also am wondering, like, so they tried to destroy the economy of Gotham. But wouldn't that just make the problem they're trying to fix worse? Like, they're saying, oh, people are too, whatever. I don't know. Like, people are too corrupt and decadent. Well, let me just make everyone poor. Yeah, that'll show them. I mean, aside from the fact that more poverty means more corruption, which leads to decadence, right? Which is the exact opposite thing that they're trying to do. Like, come on, dude. And these guys are dumb. And it failed. Like, they say they blame Bruce Wayne for this. Sorry, Thomas or Martha Wayne or whatever. But that's ridiculous because that isn't true. Like, okay, yeah, they did help and that, but like, it's not like two people could do this. A lot of other people were involved, right? And then it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. So, you know, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. I'm just trying to think of what to say because I just finished it. So, oh, Scarecrow, played by the magnificent Justin Trudeau, I think. Uh, but like, it's fun to see like all these guys. Like, we don't, this is like the first adaptation, live action adaptation of the Scarecrow, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I have no idea. Was he in the old TV show? I don't know. I have no idea. No clue. I haven't watched the old TV show. Um, and there was like, what was it? What was I talking about? The Scarecrow, yeah. And I think he was cool. He actually looked intimidating. He ran Arkham Asylum apparently, but like that's not what happened in the comics. In the comics, he was like a college professor who studied fear and like experimented on his students, which got him sent to Arkham Asylum because he was crazy. But apparently not in the. I don't know. I don't know what that was about, why he ran Arkham Asylum, but I guess it makes a little bit more sense. Although I'm surprised nobody figured out this guy was like making experiments on his people, but then again, I guess they wouldn't care, and they did. Some of them did find out. I don't know. I'm just saying. Um, I like how they explain everything. Oh, they got all this technology. Bruce Wayne's coming back to run the company. Like they explain where they got all of the Batman stuff, right? So like, they got it from Wayne Enterprises and like this random thing, this random place. Um, yeah. And, yeah. The thing is about Batman Begins is that it is the new, like, more modern take on Batman compared to, like, the Zack Snyder Batman is like just the I really think that the Joker was less of a criminal and that was. So I'll say if I was to compare them, the real more modern Batman, you gotta watch the Nolan movies. Gotta watch Batman Begins. I would recommend it. Comic book fans, comic book movie fans. It's a great movie. Recommended 100 times. 100 times. 100 times. And I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it is really good. Like, to almost everyone, I would recommend it. The action's really good. Oh, the action. Like, yeah. The acting. Like, that's one of the best things, is the acting in this movie is really good. The plot is the weak link. It's not awful. It's nothing compared to how bad the Dark Knight Rises is like really bad. But this is like the plot. It's simple, or I mean, it's comparatively simple. It's good. But it's not amazing. It's kind of there to facilitate these character interactions. It's there to facilitate the action. It's really good. The storytelling, which is kind of different than the plot, because the baseline wasn't very sturdy, but I think that the way that they did it was like the execution was really well done, right? The filming, everything is just great, right? You could probably go down to like 100 different things. But I really don't get why people prefer The Dark Knight to this. It's so much better. Well, the Heath Ledger's Joker is better, but this movie is better overall. Makes more sense. I like it a lot. It's less cliched than the later movies. It's not overstuffed, and it kind of feels more real. They know where to draw the line on characters. They make them consistent. I like that. All the characters they do have are entertaining, interesting. They explain the whole corporate end of Wayne Enterprises better. I like that part too. Just surprising. And I just think that the whole movie is it's great. So I recommend it, definitely. So, yeah. That is it. I am done.